So yeah, warm welcome to everyone. Thanks very much for joining us this evening for week 3 of our meditation for life course. We're doing an 8-week course exploring meditation, hopefully doing some practice together, and also a little bit of input from myself tonight, and just to get us thinking a bit more about meditation, because meditation's it's a discipline, it's an art. But sometimes we get into, going onto autopilot with meditation. So getting a bit of input, something to think about, can be really helpful to just sharpen up and fine-tune the meditation practice. It's a little bit like an MOT, isn't it, for a service for the old meditation practice, so to speak, isn't it? So tonight's subject is on pleasure in meditation. It's going to be on pleasure in meditation. It's a very important area because actually we're motivated by pleasure. And I'll be saying a bit more about that after we've meditated. So we're going to do a little bit of metta bhavana tonight. We did mindfulness breathing with Satya last week. She was talking about the body. So we're going to be focusing on pleasure, but more generally, we're going to be focusing on feelings. Yeah, and we're going to explore why the Buddha encouraged us to be more aware of our feelings and how that can help us in our meditation practice. So we'll talk a little bit about that later. I just thought I would say to everyone, Satyapra's here again this week. She's with us. I don't know if Liz can spotlight her, say hello.
Hi, good evening, everybody.
Thanks, Satyapra. So we've got Satyapra. Vijayasaki is away on retreat this week. I think she's leading the class next week, so she'll be back next week. So it's nice to have people from such far-flung parts of the planet, as it were. We've got people from India. We've got people from Malaga, we've got people from Norfolk, and of course we've got people from Cambridge and surrounding area of Cambridgeshire. It's nice, it's very nice to have a kind of global feel to the class tonight. It's one of the perks, if you like, of doing the class online, is you get this opportunity to feel that you've got a global class. So that's fantastic, and that fits in quite well with the practice tonight, metta bhavana, because as I'm sure you all know, when we get to the last stage of the metta bhavana, which sometimes people say is the proper stage of the metta bhavana, is when we equalize our metta to all beings everywhere throughout the world. Well, in our class, we've got people on different continents, so we can bear them in mind when we start in the last stage of the metta bhavana to help us spread the goodwill, spread the love and kindness throughout the world in our imaginations. So that's a really good thing to be aware of as we're doing practice tonight. So we're going to sit for about 25 minutes. I'll ring some bells for the stages, and I'll give a little bit of a lead through as we go through each stage of the metta bhavana. And if you want to just get yourself comfortable, get yourself ready for meditation, get yourself into comfortable posture, and then we'll begin shortly. So having found your comfortable posture, just in your own time, beginning to close your eyes in preparation for meditation. As we close our eyes, we can just start to become more aware of our bodies, posture, and how we presently feel. Coming into the present moment, just tuning in to our bodies, here and now. How do we feel right now? What's your day been like? What are you bringing to the meditation practice today? Maybe you've had a really great day. It's been relaxing. It's been spacious. You feel in a good mood already. just acknowledging that. Maybe you've had a difficult day, maybe it's been really busy, it's been frustrating. Again, just acknowledging that as well, bringing that into the meditation, just where you are now. And maybe just taking a deeper breath into the belly, and then just breathing out, long and slowly. And maybe do that again, just breathing into the belly, just arriving, feeling the body, being in the present moment. And just bring your awareness down into your feet, down into the toes on your feet, first of all. Just being aware of the sensations in the toes. Noticing the sensations in the toes. Feeling the contacts with the feet, with the floor perhaps. Just being aware of the whole of your foot. The left foot and the right foot. Being aware of the ankles, the bones, tissues, skin. Drawing your awareness into your ankles and lower legs, up to the knee joints. Just letting go of any tension that you might notice in the muscles, in the joints, just softening, relaxing. Drawing your awareness into your upper legs, the big muscles, quads and hamstrings. Be aware of what's happening there. Is there any tension? Is there any holding the muscles there? Just softening them a little bit. Bringing your awareness into the hips and the pelvis, the lower back. So allowing your sitting bones to find the front of hands. Where your spine feels relaxed, the upright and left. Drawing your awareness from the lower back to the middle back. Feeling the muscles between the shoulder blades soften. Becoming aware of your shoulders and your neck. Just what's happening in the shoulders and neck. Is there any tension that you've been storing up throughout the day? Just see if you can allow your shoulders to sink down. So let them go. Soften the neck. Aware of your scalp and your hair. Aware of the face muscles, particularly muscles in the eyes. Just see if you can soften the muscles in the eyes. Let the relaxation spread through your face into your jaw. Soften the jaw muscles. Mouth soft and relaxed. Throat soft and relaxed. Being aware of the movement of the breath in your chest, in your abdomen, your belly. So noticing how they move as the breath is drawn into your lungs and abdomen. And as the breath leaves your body, so noticing the subtle movements that are going on in the chest and abdomen. Bring your focus to your shoulders again, and just drawing your awareness down your upper arms, to the elbows, to the lower arms, the wrists, the hands, and the fingers. Being aware of the tips of your fingers. Maybe you notice the sensations of tingling at the tips of your fingers. Sweeping your awareness from your head all the way down to your legs, ankles, feet, and toes. And again, perhaps you might notice some tingling in the tips of your toes. Just staying with the sensations that you're aware of in your body. Body sensations help you stay present. Stay with the direct experience. Just noticing the breath. Perhaps it feels smoother, slower. Notice how the breath starts to calm your experience down. In the moment we're going to start with a meditation. And it begins always by bringing to mind ourselves, wishing ourselves well. Wishing ourselves well. May I be well. May I be happy. May I be fulfilled. Tuning into how you feel right now. Just relating to the experience of kindness and patience. If things have been difficult today, just acknowledge those feelings. Be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself. May I be well. May I be fulfilled. May I be free from suffering. Sometimes it helps just to dwell in the heart. Just rest your awareness around your heart area, sensing, exploring, and curious. Sometimes kindness starts with emotional honesty. It's being honest that we kind of feel. Maybe you feel a bit negative. Just being honest about that is an act of kindness. So noticing any seeds of kindness in the experience towards yourself. And dwelling on those seeds of kindness. Bringing to mind a good friend, someone that you have positive feelings towards, someone who kindness flows quite easily. Sensing this friend in your heart. Bringing to mind the qualities, wishing they too want to be happy, they too want to be free from suffering. Sometimes it can be helpful in this stage to contact gratitude for having this friend in your life. Just allowing the flow of gratitude to deepen and strengthen and become stronger. After this person is already considered to be a friend, brings us gratitude for that. How does it feel to explore those feelings of gratitude? What do you notice happens when you dwell on these positive feelings? Will you be well? Will you be happy? May you be fulfilled. allowing flow of loving kindness to intensify. Bringing to mind a neutral person, someone who you don't have strong feelings towards, don't have strong negative feelings towards. Might be someone that delivers your post, might be someone behind the checkout counter at the local supermarket, might be a neighbour that you occasionally see out walking the dog. They too are human beings like you and me. They too wish to be happy, wish to be free from suffering. They too experience pleasures, pain, ups and downs. Wishing them well, may they be happy, may they be fulfilled, may they be free from suffering. You know this person very well, but you can feel a sense of human solidarity, common humanity, not different from you and I. And you can empathize with this person, you can wish him well. How does it feel to connect with this person's humanity? Maybe you never noticed them very much before. But now bring this person to mind. You can see that they are more than a job role, more than the anonymity of someone just passing by through your life. Connecting with that common sense of humanity. Bringing to mind a difficult person, someone that causes you pain sometimes, something that you don't always look forward to seeing. There might be somebody at work, there might be somebody in your family, there might be somebody you have contact with in some kind of context. But at the moment, your experience of this person is painful. Nevertheless, they too want to be happy, they too want to be well and fulfilled. So working with the resistance, working with the desire to avoid this person, push them away. Just see if you can connect with their common humanity. May they be well, may they be fulfilled. May they be free from suffering. If you can soften any resistance to this person. What happens when you soften? Let go, release the pain. Reflecting that metta, loving kindness is unconditional. Unconditional. There's no conditions on your loving kindness towards any being. Everyone deserves metta, deserves to be well, deserves to be free from suffering. It's connecting with this bigger perspective of metta, unconditional, positive regard. How does that feel right now in your experience? And you open, and you forgive, let go. Accept. Bring into mind yourself, your good friend, your neutral person, and your difficult person. Wishing all happiness equally, without exception. May we all be well, may we all be fulfilled, may we all be happy. Equalizing what we matter, unconditional. expanding your metta out to include everyone that's here, online, on this class, people in Cambridge, Norfolk, Malda, India, everyone in this class, they will be well, they will be fulfilled, they will be happy. Expanding our metta further and further through the all beings around the world, old and young, all the different nationalities. Some people are sick, some people are well, some people are wealthy, some people are poor. Some people have happy lives, and some people have miserable, difficult lives. It's all happening. We all be well, may we all be fulfilled and happy. May we all be free from suffering, the causes of suffering. Opening your hearts, the whole world, all the living beings. Without exception. Just opening your eyes, be present again in the class, your online class. So it's good to do a bit of metta, good to do some metta bhakti. Fits in very well with this theme of tonight's class, which is about pleasure. It's about pleasure in meditation. I think metta bhakti is one of those very strong practices that gives you a sense of happiness and a sense of pleasure. It's a different kind of pleasure. You know? It's a spiritual pleasure. It's a positive emotion. The interesting thing about positive emotions are they are pleasurable, but they're also, what's the word? They're also, in a way, they help us flourish. Yeah, there's a kind of openness about them that help us flourish. It's a little bit different from just ordinary pleasure, you know, the pleasure of having a chocolate bar or, you know, getting a new laptop or something like that. You know, there's a sense of pleasure there. And then you get a kind of feeling of, you know, well-being, as it were, or uplift. But it doesn't really last. It changes, and after a while, the chocolate bar loses its appeal, and you forget about the chocolate bar. maybe later on, carry on repeating it. So the Buddha was quite aware of pleasure and the need to have pleasure in the spiritual life. It's interesting, growing up in a rural part of Scotland, I had a sort of nominal Christian upbringing, and I think I sometimes, and I'm not saying this is how it is, this is how Christianity is by any means, but this is my impression of my experience of it, limited as it was that sometimes it seemed to be about suffering. It seemed to be about suffering. So I had this view that spirituality wasn't really about pleasure. It was about duty, it was about sacrifice, it was about something to do with, feeling grateful and things like that. Also kind of where they're suffering, and there's in a certain way that's okay, but there is a whole aspect of the spiritual life that is actually that's about love, it's about positive emotions, it's about the heart, and we do need to connect with these positive emotions if we're going to sustain meditation practice, because we need the pleasure, we need the well-being from these positive emotions if we're going to sustain our interest. So I think the Buddha is well aware of that we need pleasure in the spiritual life, we need pleasure in our meditation practices. I have to say that over the years that I've been practicing, it's about 13 years now, I have to say a big part of the reason why I practice is because it is positive. It gives me a certain well-being, it gives me a certain pleasure. It's a different kind of pleasure. The Buddha distinguished between worldly pleasure and spiritual pleasure. He said that worldly pleasure is based on craving, it's based on aversion, it's based on ignoring things that you don't want to look at to maintain your sense of identity. And he explored this in his own practice, and he realized that was limited. That kind of appropriating pleasure or pushing away things that you don't like, it was limited. And he discovered, if you like, that there was a deeper kind of pleasure in life that was outside this kind of appropriating type of pushing away type of dynamic, the kind of push-pull that we tend to have around pleasure. We want what we like, and we don't want what we don't like. We push it away. And as we can see by practicing the next partner this evening, we're forced to kind of go against that push-pull of wanting what we like and pushing away what we don't like. It's very noticeable in the fourth stage, where we have to, send metta to the difficult classes. Someone that we don't like, someone that gives us unpleasant experiences, you could say. And what the metta partner is asking us to do is change the dynamic. Instead of pushing that person away, we welcome that person towards us. So instead of pushing away, we move towards them. We welcome them, we open them, and something almost alchemical happens, something almost magical happens when we do that. We start to tap into this deeper level of positive emotion, which is pleasurable, makes us happy, and is not dependent on things being the way we want them to be. We're deeply conditioned, aren't we, by consumerist culture, which is always telling us that we can fulfill all our cravings whenever we want instantly. The slogans of, have it your way, you want it. All these things are conditioning us to believe that we have to have external pleasure, and we have to have it the way we want it. What the Buddha discovered was that by turning inwards and going against that dynamic, opening up to things that we don't like. And also we're not indulging things that we do like, holding that as well. Holding that desire to always have more, and just say, well, actually, maybe it's okay to have just one desire. Maybe have that second helping. It won't be as good. And I don't know about you, but when I've had that second helping, it's never been as good as the first helping, has it? There's something about it doesn't quite deliver. And if we could just enjoy what we have, we would appreciate it so much more. We don't need to repeat it. With craving, we're always in the future. I want more, I need more, I have to have this, I want that. With aversion, we're pushing things away. I don't want this, I don't want that. So again, we're kind of taken out of the present. When we meditate, whether it's the mindfulness of breathing or metta, we are encouraging our mind to dwell in the present and not be pulled out of itself to the future, to the past, to what we want in the future, to what we don't want in the future. We're bringing our mind into the present. And strangely, when we do that, when we let go of pulling ourselves out into the future or the past, we feel happy. Happiness is really in the present moment. It's really now. And if we catch ourselves moving out into the future, with craving, with aversion, we bring ourselves back to the present moment and we open to this present moment as it is. And in that opening, we allow this deeper positive emotion to come in, which is actually more satisfying in the things that we crave in the future. The things that we crave, they don't quite deliver. They give us a temporary experience of pleasure, which then changes, fades away. And then we feel that we have to create something else and repeat it over and over again. But to do through meditating, discover the contentment. So something like contentment of being, when you just be in the present moment, letting go of the push and the pull, you actually experience happiness, a deeper kind of happiness. And that's what's kept me going all these years in Buddhism and meditation, is that deeper sense of pleasure that comes from deeper space beyond the surface push and pull of our minds. It's a wonderful thing to be able to discover. It's a wonderful thing to discover. It's a wonderful thing to be able to put into practice and dwell on more and more. But when Buddha talked about emotions, he actually he talked about feelings and sensation. And he said it's really important to be aware of feelings. Really important to be aware of feelings. Now in the West, when we say feelings, we automatically think it's emotions. If someone says, "How are you feeling?" You'll say, "Well, I feel okay," or maybe "I'm not feeling okay, I feel angry, I feel down, I feel excited, maybe I feel positive." But in Buddhism, when Buddha says be aware of feelings, he doesn't mean emotions. We can feel these in the West, feelings and emotions. What the Buddha is actually asking us to be aware of is just the feeling tone of our experience. And there's only three things that we need to be aware of. Is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Or is it neutral? Is it pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral? Sure, you can have all these emotions, anger, cravings, fantasies, expectations, pulling into the future, ruminating over the past. But what the Buddha says is, what does it actually feel like? Is it pleasant? Is it unpleasant? Is it neutral? And stay with that simple, direct experience of feeling. Simple, direct experience of feeling. So try this at home this week. Maybe you're caught up in a negative emotion. Maybe you've got to the difficult stage of the metta, and you start to feel the aversion. You think, there's no way I'm going to feel metta to this person. You've got all these reasons. You've got the story telling you, no, this person is a bad person, I don't like them, I cannot do that. You feel the resistance. What the Buddha would say is, be aware of the sensation of feeling. So what is it? It's unpleasant. Stay with that unpleasant feeling. Your mind will want to react to that unpleasant feeling, create the drama, create the story, create the emotion. That's a reaction to the feeling, the Vedana, so called the Buddhism, Vedana. So what the Buddha is saying, if you want to find a point of freedom in your emotional life, look for the Vedana. It's very, very simple, it's easy to overlook it. But when you're practicing this week, and you're caught up in a negative emotion or hindrance, trace it back to the Vedana. If it's something like, aversion, it's likely to be unpleasant. To trace it back to the unpleasant feeling and stay with that and see what happens. By staying with the Vedana, you're staying with direct experience, yeah? It's very, very similar to what Satyaprabhu was talking about recently, about the body. If you want to stay in direct experience, stay with the sensations of the body. Similarly, with the feeling aspect of your experience, which is intrinsic, it's not optional, you will always feel things. It's always going to be there. You need to stay with it directly and not spin out into these elaborate emotional reactions to the Vedana, the story, the complex emotions, the dramas that you probably end up talking to your friends about. Come back to the simple, direct experience, feeling, and stay there and dwell on that and notice what happens. What the Buddha says is that if you do that, you start to open up a space in awareness where you realize that you don't have to respond to your experience of unpleasantness or aversion, for example. You don't have to respond to your experience of pleasure, of craving, and wanting to experience it again and again. You can simply notice it and let it go. Let it go. And when you let it go, notice what happens in your emotional life. What the Buddha says happens, what practitioners notice happens, is that you start to experience a kind of natural, intrinsic, positive emotion from liberating yourself from the push and pull and the automatic reactions that we have to feeling. And this gives you a tremendous amount of freedom. It opens up this gap, this space in awareness, and it gives you the freedom to choose to do something differently. So when you're doing metta-bhavana and you're with a difficult person, you might just feel a reaction. If you can stay with the unpleasant feeling, and then notice the desire to react to that unpleasant feeling with blame or anger or whatever it is, trace it back, stay there and notice that something else can emerge. It might be acceptance, it might be a bigger perspective, it might be wisdom, it might be forgiveness, who knows? Or it might be just that they've got some blind spots. They may not be able to change, but you can choose to respond to the difficult person differently, and that gives you freedom. And that's what the Buddha's teaching is always about. It's about finding that point of freedom, releasing yourself from the unconscious bind of reacting to unpleasant Vedana and pleasant Vedana. And unthinking automatic ways that keep you limited. So look for that point of freedom when you're practicing. So I'm going to leave it there. A little bit of food for thought for practice this week. I hope it's useful. We've got a little bit of time left. If anyone's got any questions, we've got about 5 or 6 minutes or so to respond to any questions you might have. If you do want to post a question, just post it on YouTube chat stream, and Liz will pick it up and we'll see what we can do with it.
That was really great, Dharmasiddhi. When you were talking, I was just thinking of that sense of ease that comes when you can just sort of fall into an appreciation of what you're feeling, whether it's positive or negative or however it is. But that just brings, when you're talking about freedom or sort of coming back to your experience, I really was struck by that, of that level of ease of relating to others in a different way, which comes through doing sort of practicing with metta, especially with a difficult person.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that kind of psychological flexibility, if you like. That starts to manage that ease. It gives you incredible confidence, in a way, natural confidence as well. It gives you kind of mental strength to not slave to these reactions that are happening unconsciously. So not fully aware of the behaviour and the feeling. Similarly with pleasure, and I'm focused on the difficult person, and literally about aversion, pushing away, because that probably says a bit about it. But it's similar with pleasure. We can get entranced by things that are pleasurable, and it pulls us outside of ourselves. And within the future, and we're dreaming about the body we might have. There's nothing wrong with that, of course. But anyway, what the Buddha is saying is, when we get entranced by pleasure and we react to it with craving, that actually is quite painful ultimately. There's a sense of pain that you want this something that's in the future or a bit wrong for it. If you really explore those feelings, they're actually a bit painful. You don't quite have the contentment of being in the present moment, being with that natural, free, liberating craving. Experience. And of course, that's the whole addictive cycle in Russia, isn't it? You want to believing that you can't be happy unless you have this object, which can only be experienced in the future, of course. But actually, what the Buddha is saying is you have all the riches, all the contentment within you already. We don't let go.
It's really very beautiful when you describe it like that, of like we have that already. We don't need to do this kind of playing this endless game, this cycle of just falling back into our own experiences. We'll find we have everything we need. But that's quite hard to, like when you talk about it, I really believe you. And and that is partly my experience as well. But it's quite a thing, isn't it? It's this whole being in the present moment. What does that actually mean? What does it feel like?
Exactly. And it's trusting that, isn't it? Having that trust that by releasing these cravings, as attractive and alluring as they are, actually, we're not going to feel impoverished. But we might do it initially because we're not completely trusting the nature of mind. As we trust the nature of mind and allow those spiritual qualities to emerge, we're less bothered. We can take it a little bit. And then the funny sort of way we enjoy life a bit more. It's like you can enjoy a nice meal, but you don't feel you've got to have it every night, sort of thing. You become more aware of your environment, your present moment, and enjoy it. Maitri Bandi goes into this quite a lot in chapter 3 of his book on meditation. I can't remember the name of that.
Life with full attention.
Life with full attention, he talks about the whole art of pleasure and happiness. And strangely, the more we loosen up to pleasure, the more we actually appreciate the ordinary things of life. That's definitely my experience when I'm, say, on retreat. Suddenly a meal, might be quite ordinary in a certain sense, but it tastes amazing because you're more content, you're more aware. Suddenly those potatoes are like the best potatoes you've ever had. Simple things like a cup of tea and a biscuit suddenly become delicious, But usually we're so bombarded, we're so overstimulated, we don't even stop, we don't slow down enough to notice the simple pleasures of life that are just always there.
Got Brenda saying, really clear and helpful guidance. Thank you, Dharmasiddhi.
Thanks, Brenda. You're welcome, very welcome.
So there's no other comments or questions coming up.
Okay, well, we're about 8:01, so I guess we'll leave it there. Thank you so much for joining us for this meditation course this evening. It was really, really lovely to meditate with you. And I wish you well with your practice over the coming week. And, as I said, why not explore this area of feeling or feeling a little bit more and see if you can find that point of freedom more and more in the practice and coming week. So have a good evening, and I hope to see you all again soon.